You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Victorious 89.1 WAKP. Your unity in the community station.
Yes, well, we are here for another of Reasoning Thursdays with yours truly, Lady D, Mama Acid, and Queen. Yes, getting a little feedback. I think Mama Acid getting a little feedback there. Yes, yes, much better. No, it's still not better.
Is
But
it better?
no, it's not. It's not. Yeah, don't want to miss this Reasoning Thursdays. You definitely don't want to miss it. As we're talking about, we're going to continue our talk into mental illness. And mental illness, we have a lot of different avenues as to mental illness. Queen, do you have us on speaker?
Uh,
So let's try taking you
yes,
off that speaker. Getting a serious feedback here. So I
but
don't know if this is Mama
we're
Acid
not feedback on that one.
has this on speaker, or let's see if we get rid of the speaker. If we can, yeah, that was Mama Acid. Mama Acid logged off, so that was her. We was getting that feedback. So we're gonna. Mama Acid should be logging back on. We're calling in a minute. So then we're going to reason today. We have mental illness. We're gonna continue that reasoning right there. We're also gonna continue our reasoning on well, that's the continuation is mental illness, and then we're going over to who you have praying over you. Whom do you have praying over you? The what is going on in this world? What is really going on in this world? This is something really let go on this earth? Is it has been released on this earth for real? We want to definitely reason on that as well. As Mama Acid is logging on, share the link, share the link, share the link. We need you to share the link with your friends, families, co-workers, acquaintances. You know, all of the people that even when you don't like. Share the link. Share the link. Mama Acid, you log on. How you do?
I'm here. I'm definitely here.
All right, all right. That's a good thing. Queen, how you do?
I have the phone up at my ears because I can't hear. I don't know. I can't hear. When I'm not on the speaker, I can
Well, go
barely
ahead.
hear
No,
you
you
guys.
could go back on the speaker. The feedback that I was getting was from Mama Acid, and so you could go back on the
Okay,
speaker.
I'm back on now. Is
Yeah,
there the
because
echo
we
still going on?
no.
Fine.
We had figured out where
Okay,
that was
good.
coming once Acid had locked off. Yes, Reasoning Thursday, Mama Acid Queen. Man, lots of information. We did y'all want to just drop in some because I think mental illness is the total show. It's just about the
Yes.
total show because everything I feel that just about everything that you all have sent to me have some shape or form of mental illness. Share the links, share the link, share the link. We need you all to share the link. Invite all of whom you have to invite over here on Reasoning Thursday. And that's each and every single Thursday. We're doing Reasoning Thursday. You know, it has to be something why we're not doing it, right? So
Mhm.
we definitely need you all to share the link, log on, share the links, share the links. Man, there's so much in the news. Um, uh, definitely in the mental health, we have some questions as to Kanye West even, and myself, Mama Acid Queen, we reasoned, and some of my thoughts. Yeah, Acid, I was shocked even when you said, "Well, you think you going to the left or to the right?" Because it's not the left; it's to the right. So we want to talk about that. We want to talk about that. Um, Once again, want to send condolences, and I hate to have to do that again, which we hate to have to do that again when another school shooting. It's
Yeah.
it's a sad thing, but that's going to bring us right there back into the entire mental health situation again. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
And
bringing
it's
us.
not one, it's two, lady.
Two school
One
shootings.
happened here in Georgia this morning too.
All right, all right.
Plus the St. Louis. Hmm.
Okay. And police and citizens, and I mean, like, is everyone up in arms? Um we had on our list the Juliet Holness statement that she made. Um but I don't know if we're even going to touch that right now. Um and in regards to comrades and where they're living, and stuff like that. So I think we're going to maybe save that for week after next program. um so let's see, where should we start, ladies? I'm gonna give you all the floor first. Where should we start?
Hey,
do
Darryl
do
Brooks. Darryl Brooks was found guilty
First degree
yesterday
homicide. He was found
on,
guilty on a lot of different charges.
yeah, 67 counts, and he's gonna get the murder conviction is gonna be for six consecutive um, murder counts
Okay.
for the sixth victim that died.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
that's the young man that plowed his vehicle into the crowd. He had a dispute with his girlfriend. They were arguing back and forth, and he driving. They even showed video of them in court driving the car up and down the road, arguing with her. And eventually, I guess he didn't get justification, so he just ran down all those people in the parade,
Okay.
killing six of them,
Well,
including a child who now she's still going through therapy and mental issues and
okay. Well, he
whatever else.
definitely he definitely deserved that. He definitely deserved that. And are we saying that that's a part of mental illness as well? I mean, is
Well,
everything
his
is
mother,
everything going to be
his mother said,
classified as
mhm,
mental illness? But we're going to get back to mental illness. And what you said
mhm.
his mom said, Queen?
His mom said that he has mental illness. She said she know her son, and he has been doing things. She said she expected this to happen, and
Okay.
he has been having issues for many years with mental illness.
Okay.
It was never addressed by the court, by the authorities or the court system or the medical system. They never addressed it, but she evidently she reported it several times. He was not even allowed in her house.
Okay.
When the girlfriend was
We
staying with him, they lived in the car outside. Um,
I don't even
so
care
he has
about
issues.
Daryl. I don't even care about Daryl, to be truthful.
Mm,
Um, the most what I care about Darryl Brooks is that he got what he deserved. Six consecutive um
mhm.
um
Murder
guilty
charges, yes.
verdicts, and
Guilty verdict,
yeah,
yes.
and he's going to jail.
And
Okay.
67 guilty counts he
Yeah.
got because
He
along
got
with that,
what he needed,
he had other
because so many
charges,
people is
yeah.
hiding behind this mental illness, and everything is nowadays becoming to be mental illness. You know what I'm saying? um Mama Acid, what's your thought? Where Queen started out with this Darryl Brooks and the
Well,
guilty, which that definitely ties into the mental illness. Is there anything else before we get to mental illness that we should touch?
well, also remember that the amount of charges that he is facing is much, much higher than anybody else who was being charged for running into a crowd. Because if you remember what happened 2 years ago when the police drove into a crowd of Black Lives Matter um, marchers in New York, they basically didn't get charged.
Mhm. So not only is Darryl Brooks falling into mental illness, are we going into racism?
Absolutely. Why
Okay.
not look at also this guy from Charlottesville, Virginia, who was, I will say, from Michigan and a member of the Proud Boys, drove his car to this huge demonstration in Virginia and drove into Heather Heyer and five other people. Heather
Okay.
Heyer died. How many counts did he get charged with? One count of murder. So what I'm saying is for them to charge Darryl Brooks with more than, I believe they gave him almost 70 counts for different things, that in itself shows great
Okay.
just,
Okay.
do you think that
Just,
stems
so
from him trying to defend himself? Because he defended himself.
no.
He fired
If
all the
you
lawyers and
remember
defended.
this week, well, last week, the judge had him removed from the courtroom because he sat at the table and he watched her, and she said, I am having a staring contest with this man, and quite frankly, I am afraid. So you need to remove him from the courtroom right now. And that's what they did.
Okay, so we're going to
Because she was
definitely get
afraid and he was sitting there.
we're going to definitely get into mental illness. We're going to get into racism because those two topics
That was
is
racism. Have you
yeah.
ever heard them remove a white man from a trial like that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We want to get into those two topics a little bit more deeper. So what I'm doing, what we're doing is
Okay.
just skimming,
One more thing.
skimming
One
the
more
top
thing.
and touching. Go ahead.
Today, the judge for the case of murder for this cop who killed Patrick Rioya, the young man from Africa who was murdered last year in Grand Rapids, Michigan. His trial for fitness of if he's going to stand trial started today. And the question is, he's convicted. He should be convicted of murder right now because they have witnesses who were there physically, as well as all kinds of photographic evidence. So the question is, again, why is it that these trials are not at all matching up?
Okay. All right. So what I was trying to do was stray you and Queen a little bit away from the racism and the mental illness for just a millisecond, so that we could touch something because we know that racism, mental illness are going to take up just about the entire show. So there were one and two things
You want to
here.
do the election?
Right. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, let's touch one and two things different than racism and the mental illness because it's important to talk about all of that and let it tie in to where we're going. So, um, real quick on let me throw something in there real quick. Um, the school in Jamaica, Oberlin High School, and the devotion that took place. Okay, the supposed devotion, and all these children, they're saying became possessed and was talking in foreign languages and tongues, and it was very concerning that a lot of them had to be brought to the hospital. I have a
Foaming
thing
out of
with
their mouth. One dead.
foaming.
One dead.
One died?
Mhm.
I didn't
One
know that.
died. Yeah, one girl
I didn't
died.
know
Uh
that
huh.
one of them passed away. But
Yeah, one girl died.
I have concerns as to that because see, I'm a very funny person on whom I allow to pray over me, who to pray for me and pray over me. And even while a person is praying for me and over me, I definitely, most definitely send it back, you know. So people, you have to know, you just can't have people saying they coming to pray over an entire school and an entire body of children, and neither yourself nor adults. We have to know whom we have praying over us,
Mhm.
because you don't know where these spirits are. And that leads to the Jamaica and the crime, and it being possessed, and they saying the demons and all of this thing is there. What's your
Mhm.
thought on this, Queen? What's your thought on this whole devotion business? And then Mama Acid,
The
a
whole
question for
situation is
you too.
like one of the interviewers that they interviewed, one of the children there. It's like she had a phone. The child had a phone because they banned all phone out of that school. You're not supposed to have a phone. And she was the one that was recording everything that was happening. You see the kids running around, you see them falling. All of that was shown on the video that I saw. And I'm saying, is this real? I'm looking at it and I'm saying, is this really happening? But like she said, she wanted to take a picture of it because people wouldn't believe. But that did happen. And also, um, Juliet Holness, she went to the school because it's her constituency. It's happened in her area. And she went to the school when she heard of this, and she really confirmed that this really happened.
So what are we
So
saying?
they
What are
want to
we
know
saying?
what took place.
Do we really feel like there's demonic things going on in Jamaica with all of what's going on in Jamaica?
I think something is going on because then again we would come to those 12 babies that died at the hospital, Kingston Public Hospital. Um, 12 babies died within 2 months, and they can't figure out. They're saying some type of bacteria or something inside of them eating them out. And now they're saying it also extends to Bustamante Hospital. So we're saying what is going on? Is something a plague? Is something going on there? What's going on in Jamaica?
Pauline
And
Robert,
it's not just Jamaica, but a lot of these Caribbean islands,
mhm.
these things are happening. There
Oh,
is no governing board. There is no one being accountable for these things. What's going on?
yeah, all around the world. Pauline Roberts, Mama Chaplin says, "Amen." Mama Acid, Queen said, "What's going on? What's your thought on this?"
I think we've been talking about this for a while, and we've been asking about the aliens. If these are the aliens, is this a manifestation of something that the aliens could be doing?
Hmm.
Or we need to come back to that. Or do we need to come back to
I
this
really
topic?
want to go there because I feel this is out of characteristic for a country like Jamaica that has so much religious fervor. Everybody has spirit in Jamaica. So why all of a sudden is the devil just running up and down the street attacking kids? Basically, making bodies disappear. People are absolutely living in a nightmare. This is not something that we're imagining. We see the statistics for it. And I don't know what else can explain it other than something demonic. If you can tell us something other than something demonic, I'll go with it because right now I can't see what could be doing this. And when I saw that video and I saw the little girl and the other kids and everything that was going on, I will be honest and say it was very unnerving.
It,
And I
it
would not
was.
want to think that those kids didn't just all of a sudden just start having seizures like that and doing having convulsions and just it was totally demonic. And I don't think it was a hoax. I don't see how it could be a hoax, quite frankly.
Not especially not with one child dying, because I didn't know that
No,
there
one child
there was
died.
a child
And
that
not just
passed
that, the
away.
president, the prime minister wife went and she saw these children that went through this, and there were kids laying down, the parents trying to sue them, and they couldn't get response from them. It's a lot of stuff was going on there,
So, but
unusual
and you know
things.
what? This is not even just is this where something demonic is going on all over the world? Because all of the rash in killing, not just in Jamaica, but the amount of ration in with killing, also here in the United States, all around the world, the amount of killing that is going on is just crazy. So I mean, it's going from our adults, our teenage, and now going to the children. What is what do what is going to take? Where are all the pastors and you know, I'm still not hearing anything from the church because
Mhm.
such a incident that have occurred in Jamaica with our children. I think that clergy should be calling for a day of prayer, a national, a countrywide day of prayer.
Mhm.
And they are
Yes,
still
agree.
silent. And they are still silent. Nothing is being said. I have not seen anywhere or heard anyone say to me that they are speaking out. The churches get all of the churches together. Stop being divided and come together and fight what is going on. The church is, and we talked about this weeks ago, months ago,
Yeah.
that they are just silent. Do you think our churches are scared? Are the pastors that are in these position of pastoring the community and the congregations, do you all think that they are afraid?
They might be. They're not going out into the field anymore like they used to. They staying behind closed doors and worshiping. And
Uh, do
years ago, I remember the pastor used to even knock on your door and check on you, or.
okay.
But now they're behind their closed door or behind the church door worshiping and saying they're worshiping and praying for the world. But yet still you're not seeing it. They're behind closed doors doing this.
It's some serious business. It is some serious business. When I saw the video myself as well, it was madness. Juliet says, good evening, ladies. I hope you had a blessed and wonderful week. Question: where did you view this video? I would like to see it. Well, the video is on YouTube. It's on all of the social
Yes.
media platform, and
Yes.
if you give me your information off the air, I will forward it to you. Okay.
But the thing
Acid,
is
what's
that
your
it's not
go
just
ahead,
that,
Queen.
but even these children. these children that are, is it neglect? Is it, what is going on? How come, how can in space of a month, um, 12 babies just die like this, and several of them are affected to the point where they're critical. Um, that
Well,
again too make you wonder what is going on. Is it negligent on the part of the nurses and doctors? And this is triggering onto another facility, another hospital, Bustamante Hospital. This happened in Kingston Public Hospital. Now it's trickling on to Bustamante, and some of these parents that went to look about their children, they're coming down with this too.
mm.
Allegedly, they're coming down with this same illness, whatever that illness is that's affecting these people. What is it? And they're saying it's
So
not
none of
like
the
that
doctors,
bacteria eating. It's not that bacteria eating disease that we heard about years ago. It's something totally different from what they have I guess experimented and saw. You know, the symptoms and the signs. It's not the average bacteria eating flesh eating disease. So what is
okay,
it?
so my curiosity is, have they checked for Ebola? Because apparently Ebola is on the uprise again. And that's some of the symptoms of Ebola, where you just all of a sudden develop this strange infection and you start bleeding everywhere and having convulsions, and all of some of these symptoms
And this
are
is
the same as Ebola.
directed at at the babies in the hospitals.
The
This is
babies,
not.
but
This is
All
these
of them.
children,
because this is not
but those
because
children, they, it's after they were prayed over. They were in school, and they have, it's like how we
yeah,
used
but
to have
the ones in the
assembly in the
hospital,
morning.
the ones in the hospital, the babies
The
are in the
ones in the
hospital.
hospital, yes.
They were
Okay.
not prayed
I could
over,
see that
right?
with them.
So that's where
But I'm
as
quite sure they must have ruled that out by now. You know, within a month time, they must rule out Ebola because they're saying it's not anything that they've seen before.
yeah, why I just wanted to stress that because I want our listeners to know where, because we went from the kids in the school
Yeah,
and being prayed over, and also now and then the children in the babies
yeah.
in the
But I'm saying
hospital.
all of these intertwine. That's what I'm saying because these kids, the ones in the school, it was after the prayer this started to happen, and the ones in the hospital, it just spontaneously started to happen within a month time.
So you know what, I would want to know what the Ministry of Health is saying in
Mm. They're
regards to
silent.
all of what is going on. I would like to really know what the Ministry of Health in Jamaica is saying, what is
They're
going on as
silent. I
far as
didn't
the
see
baby.
anything coming from them. I saw where Juliet Olness, she went to the school. I saw a clip on her going to the school and confirming that this happened
Right,
in the
right.
school.
As far
But
as the, the
in
the
terms of,
school, as far as the
yeah,
school
that's
incident,
it. Yeah.
yeah, that
But
school
the
in.
children, I haven't heard. But the babies, I haven't heard anything from the Ministry of Health
I definitely
pertaining to
agree
this.
with yourself, with you, Queen and Mama Acid, as to going back, moving away from the babies in the hospital, but going back to the school situation. I
Hmm.
totally, that is something that I really feel that the clergy of Jamaica really need to come together. All denominations in Jamaica need to come together, okay, and have a week, because a day is not even gonna work. I don't even think a week is gonna work. A month of serious, serious prayers. Okay, Juliet says they're unable to participate because of fear. Haven't you noticed that the church do not get involved in protests like they used to? I bet if you offered an incentive, they might get involved, because that was where I was. I would say, are, like I was saying, are they scared? Is it just prosperity preaching that the church is all about now? Acid, you want to address?
I think one of the big issues with church in Jamaica is that it is not necessarily prosperity gospel. It's more or less try and stay within the lines of whatever their organization says they need to do, because they don't want to lose that missionary funding. And to talk about something like this happening would certainly mean that someone would have to be looking into it, because if you say these kids were prayed over and this happened, then what would be the first question? Who's doing the praying? Second question, what were they praying? Third question, what denomination were they with? Okay, those are simple questions. But the hard questions are the ones about health. Those are the ones I'm more interested in. And I think that if anything, the church should start immediately saying, listen, we need to get clear information about what is causing these deaths, because people are not just dropping dead. Kids, nah, that doesn't happen. Especially then when you mentioned that the other people in the family who were then starting to come down with some of the same thing, it made me start to wonder, is there some sort of connection in terms of health? Because if they were exposed to the kids and the kids had this and then they got it, then they should be testing to see exactly in a wide panel infection rate what is this thing that they would have.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, it's soon going to spread to other people, including the people taking care of them.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's the Ministry of Health that needs to be doing this, and because the Ministry of Health is not saying anything, that in itself indicates that they might be a bit standoffish. And if that's the case, then why are they the Ministry of Health?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's something to think about.
So I only asked about Ebola because I have been reading about this resurgence of Ebola, and they have said that Ebola is traveling, and since the virus scans around the world seem to be showing so many different viruses in the air, that many of them are actually starting to travel to other places because they're doing a whole lot of growing, and they are most certainly changing and adapting. That is why COVID barrier diseases, which I don't like to refer to, are starting to become so much more prevalent. And when I say that, what I'm talking about is all these things that come with these types of infections, because these barrier diseases are diseases that didn't really affect these people until they had been infected by this particular virus. So the virus in itself is actually either morphing and actually creating its own new cycle, or it's causing the human body to adapt. And if that's the case, maybe people need to find out what it is they're trying to adapt to and find out if it's even human. That's the first question. Is
okay.
it human?
I thought about that. Yeah, I thought about that because you see now the rise with these three, the flu, the COVID, and the other one. How many?
And we say the big C. We say the big C's.
100%.
Okay, we need to use the C's and the V's and the F's. Okay, because we don't want the program to be cut. We have a comment from Mama Chaplin. Mama Chaplin says, because when you're speaking in tongues, it's a message you are getting. And if you are not equipped to deal with it, you will be knocked down. It will take a good spiritual person to bring you back. It happened to me and a group of kids. Once we were mocking the rivals, not knowing about the unknowns. It's very powerful. That's why when you go to Bible school, they let you know don't speak unless you know what your message is. So the unknown is real.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming from Mama Chap. So when persons are speaking in tongues, then what are we saying? They should not be what we should. I mean, like, I don't know. When you go
They're
to
supposed to
church,
have
you
an
hear all these
intercessor,
people.
someone who can
You,
translate. They're
you
supposed to have a translator if they're going to speak in tongues.
in
They're
tongues.
supposed to have a translator, from
But
what I
isn't
learned
but
in church.
isn't but I mean, like, when you go to church and you stand and you in the church and these persons and these spiritual people start talking, when they start getting in the spirit, they automatically just start talking in the tongues. So when it is these fake tongues that they're talking in, I mean, because shouldn't, if it is a pastor in the place there, the shouldn't the pastor be able to translate what these people are saying?
Not
But suppose the
necessarily the
pastor
pastor, but
doesn't
you
know.
have people have certain discernment, and certain discernment. You have people that can speak, and certain that can people that can intercept that tongue. They can understand what that tongue is saying because the devil can speak the same tongue as the righteous people. So there is always supposed to be someone in the church that can intercept those tongues
But the
and
pastor should,
determine whether it's good or bad.
but that's what the pastor's job is. The pastor is there
But no, it's
pastoring the
not your
congregation.
job. You have to have that discernment.
Yeah, but the
You have to
pastor,
have that
but
discernment.
Queen, the pastor talk in tongues too in church. So if the pastor and is in there talking and everybody in there is talking in tongues, then somebody in there, then they're supposed to be able to know what that person is saying, if it's of good as if it's or if it's of bad. Or is this a fake tongue business when a lot of them is still standing up there and carrying on and making these noises? Is it fake? Because I
That's
feel
what
that
that
the
person
pastor
who
should be the one whom should be able to say, listen, get out. We rebuke you. Get out. Because he is the head of the church. So if he is not capable, he or she is not capable, then who is supposed to be capable of it? Whom is supposed to be capable of it?
I think Chaplain need to call in on this
If
one.
someone
She
can
is
answer this
she
question, if someone could answer this question, 706-955-2001. If we have any pastors listening in or anything like that, call in at 706-955-2001. Because just about the entire for me, when I'm in church, I don't talk that because I don't the half of the congregation in there is running up and down and making all type of noise. Somebody in there don't know that the pastor or the the chaplains or the head people in these churches, they don't know. Donna's a greeting. Donna says good evening, and Donna said, "What's the question?" Donna, you just joining us. Blessings to you. The question is, we're speaking of the children whom one of the teachers or one of the students came up and they started praying for the entire church. It will happen in Jamaica, Oberlin High School. Okay. And these people start speaking in tongues, and all these children get mad out and start, some of them speaking in tongues, some of them fuming, spit out of their mouth. One child died,
God.
passed away during all of this business going on. And then Queen is saying that you have to be
Have that
special.
discernment, yeah.
You have that
To
special
interpret,
discernment
yeah.
to interpret what they're saying. But so many people in the church
What that
talking in tongues. So what is this? All of these people in church, when you go to church, that's all they stand up and running up and down and talking about it. Nobody in church know what that person is saying.
The pastor of the
But you
church
know,
don't
some of
know
them
what
are
that
fake.
person
You
is
know,
saying.
some of them are fake. Some of them are fake. I've experienced that where some of them they practice doing it and they're fake. You don't know who is real and who is fake either. You have to have that spirit to know who is real and who is fake. This is something that happened in my church, and my pastor did rebuke because she was able to do that. So she did rebuke the individual and told her that she had to go to the back of the church.
I think anywhere anybody is praying for anyone, they ought to have, every church should have somebody in there that can interpret. Okay, we have a call coming in. Everyone should have someone in there that can interpret what is being said, and if it's not of God, to remove this person, to stop the transaction, to stop it. Okay, caller, greetings, caller. How you doing?
Greetings, lady. Greetings. I have been to a church once in New York, and somebody started talking in tongues, and the pastor stopped it right away. And he was trying to be nice. To me, he was trying to be respectful, but he let the person know that they cannot be in this church and speak those words because what they're speaking is nonsense. You know, so I guess the person took offense because the next thing I know, the person had left the church. You know, and you could feel a different air around the place because usually when you walk in the church, you feel a certain kind of atmosphere and a certain kind of vibe. And it felt like it was stuffy, but after the person left, it was like everything felt a little fresh. So I guess that pastor knew what they were talking about because as soon as that person started to talk in tongues, he stopped it. Right then and there, he stopped it and asked the person to leave
But
the
he
church.
should. But
But he
when
did it
they
in such
see,
a nice and
but
polite way.
but if they see these
What's up?
things taking effect, if these pastors in the church hear these people talking in tongues, and what they're saying is not of God, they should just not say, "Oh, stop it and don't talk." Rebuke you and get out of here
And it's
in
not
the
all
name of
pastor
Jesus.
can feel that, lady. It's not all pastor can determine that or feel that. You have to have that gift. You have to have that gift of discernment, that gift to interpret.
This is what the pastor themselves is talking it. The pastor themselves is
Yeah,
on the
but half of
public
them
talking the same
they
thing.
cannot translate. But half of them cannot translate because remember they're in the spirit. They're supposed to be in the spirit in another dimension, another realm. And once they're in that other realm, they're not even knowing what they're saying. They're just speaking. The spirit is coming through them, and from what I've learned,
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Donna. That whole tongue thing, it's demonic. It's demonic. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Donna. The whole thing is demonic. Mama Acid, what you say?
Well, you know, my thoughts on it are that sometimes there are things that happen that we don't understand. And because we don't understand it, it may not necessarily be demonic, but then again, it may be something that if we don't understand, you know, like in I don't know what they called it. Puritan times, they used to say women were witches. They used to burn women. And, you know, it was really just a whole discussion of whose version of religion, or in this case, Christianity, is the one that is, what do you call it? The expert. In my opinion, quite honestly, I'm going to say something everybody is going to be mad I said it, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Good.
Theater makes a lot of money. And in these organized religions, we have to understand there are a couple things at play. One, organized religion, you have to pay in order to be recognized. And you have to have enough people to make that money to be recognized. That's the first thing. So that's your minor miracle right there. The second part of it is everybody wants to be with somebody they can do something special. So the question is this special? And if it really is special, does it happen in other groups? Are we seeing other people who speak this as a real language? Or is this just a single manifestation? Because I understand this being in the spirit, making you feel certain things and you want to respond. Well, yeah, we do. But in the reality sense, how can there be a definition to a sound if 15 people make the same sound and it sounds different from each person? How can we have one standard definition? I was taught that in my last semester because a priest said to me, if you speak Inuit and you're saying your version of God to a person that only speaks Cantonese or a person that only speaks Cyrillic, how will they understand you? And when they say their version of it, how will you understand them? So the translation from my understanding is that there's a complete understanding in the spirit, okay? In the spirit. Now, how that translation becomes fluid enough that we can turn it into logic and explain situations like this, I don't know, but I know people have these types of situations happen all the time. And we don't know if it is a personal event or if it is a larger event. But one thing I believe is that when these events occur, we should pay attention and try and see if there's a similarity to a previous event in order to see how it would affect us and if it would give us closer contact with something that might explain some of the things that we don't understand now.
Donna Moody
It's
says,
just like
Donna
that
Moody
with
says,
trying to communicate.
we
The
have
King
some
James
comments. We have some
Bible.
comments here. Donna Moody says, spirit from another planet. Mama Chaplin says, because some of them is 66 ordered and some is 60. They do not know because it's deep, deep. Juliet says, I wish there was a visual so I could have seen Mama Acid's various expressions. I miss seeing them.
Okay. Well, you see, the thing is that
Well, who knows?
the King James version of the Bible, what they do to show you what will happen is they said there are different tongues. Everybody speak different tongue in every country. That each person have a different language. But they're saying that when the end of the world, whatever, the end, Revelation, fulfill, then everybody will be speaking one tongue and you will understand what everybody is saying.
Okay, we have a
And you
caller.
won't have to
Caller.
go to translation school to translate.
Okay, what
Caller.
religion taught you that?
One moment. We
The
have a caller.
rapture, talk
Caller.
about the rapture.
Yes,
Yes.
hi, it's Donna. How you doing?
Oh, greetings, Donna. How you doing?
I'm okay. Yeah, so you know me, I'm gonna put my my 2 cents in about, spirit planets. You have shadow planets, like it's called a north node and a south node. I think it's the south node that's spiritual. And that's where you see when they speak, they're not speaking in human language. Okay, so I'm just putting, what I'm putting out here is not, everyone is not gonna probably believe it, or like I said, like I always say, you have to research for yourself. But the thing is that you have spirit planets, you have shadow planets. They come from these planets, and like I said, it's a universe force attack. Okay, so you see when those planets are aligned with the Earth and the Sun, they come to Earth, and that's what people have to come to the realization of. Okay, so that's all. I mean, like I said, I'm just putting it out there. This is my analyzation of everything. You know, everybody has their own opinion, so I feel that I'm entitled to mine as well.
Oh, most
But
definitely. What does that
yeah,
have to do with the tongues?
the tongues is what they're speaking in their language from their planet. That's what I gather. Okay,
Okay.
because I remember because
Okay.
it's a thing wherein that it's a universal force takeover. People have to do their research and come to the realization of what the truth is. Because, like I said, um, a lie is still a lie, even if everyone believes it, and the truth is still the truth, even if no one believes it. We're invaded by other beings, and they're in the churches because, like I always said to you, that they seek origins. So these are ancient aliens and ancient humans or whatever other hominins, and that's who are amongst us. Where did you get these lookalikes from? That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
Where did
We're
they
not
come
we're,
from?
we are not traveling there right now on the lookalikes.
Okay, no
Oh,
problem.
but we're gonna
Mhm.
get back. But we're gonna get back to these lookalikes. We're gonna get back
Mhm.
to these lookalikes. And when we
Okay, no problem.
a next show when we doing that, then I'm gonna ask you to call in because
Mhm.
you know what people would say. I saw someone that looked just like you. So we're gonna talk about that lookalikes down on another program because we have this
Okay, no
program, we
problem.
have this one full. But that's a question.
Mhm.
That's a question to ask. True. That's a question to ask. Okay, that's a question to
Mhm.
ask.
Mhm.
But you know what? I don't. We're gonna move on from this topic as to the demons and stuff like that, ladies. Did anyone want to wrap up a last anything last to say in regards to this?
No
Mama
longer.
Acid.
Like you said, where are the churches? With this happening, they should have been out now because this happened almost a week now. So somebody from the churches should be responding. Somebody from the medical group should be in Jamaica should be responding. But everybody is quiet. So what is going on? Why are they quiet?
Yeah.
That's all I have to contribute to it.
Okay. And Mama Acid, you didn't have anything else to contribute to it. So let's move on
Nope.
to our next topic because we're just gonna touch and go and we're gonna keep it moving. But yeah, I before I even move on, I don't want Donna to feel like that I'm dismissing what she's saying because all of us know that someone would say people and throughout all of our lives, I know somewhere someone that says, somebody look just like you. But anyway,
Mhm.
election. Let's move on to election.
Okay,
Herschel.
can I say one thing when we're talking about election? Let me just start at a place.
Okay.
Um, I have been torn on an issue, and I was challenged on the issue by my co-host. And I want to say that I have seen some things after taking time to watch for a while, and I have reversed my opinion. Now, previously, my opinion was that, okay, I like Big Mike Render. Nope. Big Mike is on there dealing with Kemp, and Kemp says he has a big truck so that he can round up illegals and take them back to the border. Now, if uh, Ronnie Jules is on that kind of tip now, maybe I don't need to be checking for them no more because I would think that if Big Mike Render has this real so-called touch with the black community since he's got these barbershops and he and T.I. are investing in small businesses down on Bankhead and, doing different things in Atlanta. Why is he not aligned with Stacey Abrams? I'm confused about that. But I also want to say this. If Mike Linder doesn't have anything positive to add to help black disenfranchised voters get their votes back, I wish he would just stop being a photo op. For real though. I mean, we can go further deeper down into my other feelings about the election. I want to let y'all digest on that for a minute because I'm sure that was something people didn't expect to hear. But no, I ain't feeling Big Mike no more.
No comment. Before we continue with our election, Mama Chaplin says, "Remember that the falling angels on earth, who was remember that the falling angels on earth, who was cast out with the devil, 1/3 of them is among us. Look like us, speak like us, but not us." Now, Mama Chap, we've moved off. We moved off, but you're going with Donna here. Donna says, I'm sorry, Donna. I didn't know you got cut off. But Donna, that's basically what Donna is saying. That's basically what Donna is saying. See, she said, Donna says, "Thank you, Pauline, Mama Chap. That's facts." Okay. Yes, and who else? Okay. Yeah, those were the comments that was made. Back to Mama Acid with the election, and we're gonna touch back this topic, but we have a couple of other things that we wanted to touch: elections and the mental illness, and I thought that mental illness is gonna take a lot, um, just about the entire show, so we wanted to jump on it, but hmm, no, I'm not. We're not going there. Go out election. Mama Acid with Herschel
Okay,
Walker.
Fetterman.
Uh-huh.
Come on now, Fetterman. We got to go good first. Fetterman first, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Fetterman did not do bad in his first live interview based upon the fact that he had to use a teleprompter. But we tend to forget that there are a lot of people in government who've been very sick, who've had strokes, they've recovered, and they didn't even step down during the period of their recovery. Fetterman has continued to operate as the lieutenant governor even during this whole health scare. So anyone questioning his fitness must really honestly be taking some of them pills that they took Dr. Oz off the air for selling. And
Okay.
then I want to also say this. Dr. Oz, people know you don't have a Pennsylvania driver's license because you don't live in Pennsylvania. That is your mother-in-law's address. And quite frankly, we saw your vacation pictures a couple weeks ago, and that was certainly not Pennsylvania with that big beach. Or that yacht. So, it's time for people that are really needing help to start understanding that if they don't reach out for that help, that it will disappear. And that's what we're seeing now. It's time for America to take a look at the slate for exactly what it is and understand that right now the Senate and the Congress is made up of, I'm going to say it, 85% white Christian males. They don't represent women. They don't represent any people of color. They don't even represent the fringe elements in the country. They are 100% capitalist and most certainly bonded with all of the lobbyists for all of the different causes that fund their long, unterm, regulated, I don't even want to call it career because that's really giving them too much credit. To me, I think, quite honestly, if we were to do a comparison between what's happening in the United Kingdom and the U.S., I think I would prefer what's going on in the United Kingdom. let's just get a new person every 44 days if the people that we keep getting are not the right ones. Let's not just keep sticking with them for years and years and years.
Well, you definitely know my
Let's find
feelings
a
on
way
that.
to let them go home.
You know my feelings on that. I always say that I think that there ought to be a shorter time limit than what they're getting, and even Supreme Court, all of them. I
But
don't think that the time that they're getting, presidents, all of those. I think all of these things should be cut short, and it should be something that the masses vote on. Mama Chap Pauline says because he's in there to confuse the voters, like is his boss, is his boss.
okay. But it's true because you see what happened. The white supremacy, they're in all of these governments. And look at this, what happened there in Kansas City, where this individual, he was killing all these black people, black male and female, and they kept reporting it to the police, and nothing was done about it until that individual escaped and ran to the neighbor's house, and they found she had chains and all of that attached to her body, and she explained to them how many of her friends this individual had killed. But yet still it was being reported for months and years. This was being reported. And he was a serial killer, but he is also part of the white supremacy. And most of them, there's so many of them that are in government now. That, remember, I told you all about that 30 something thousand individual that are in power, but we don't know, we can't identify all of them. And that list was put out about a year ago, and no one haven't really researched it to see who these people are. But yet still they're in Congress, they're in the House of Representatives, they're in all of these governmental agencies, and they are backing all of these individuals that are killing off these black folks. And there's several of them that I could point out that have been killed over the years, and they don't know how they were killed, but it was a white man that did it. I mean, we don't know, but they are all there. They're in power, and until
Okay.
something is done about that, we're going to continue to have racism within the government, and that's the way out it is.
Okay, so
There's
let
so
me
much
let me throw this
corruption.
also in here because you went
Yeah.
someplace that I wasn't expecting to go, but I want to go. I want to go there since you talked about it a little bit.
Okay.
White supremacy was empowered as much under Barack Obama as it was under Donald Trump because of one thing: they hate black people. Okay.
Yeah.
They used Barack Obama as a recruiting card for 8 years. The amount of white supremacist action and the amount of white supremacist groups that were tracked by the Southern Poverty Law Center went 400%. They grew 400% in 8 years. Now, if you really consider the real mission of the white supremacists, I know I'm going a little early on this, but I just got to say it.
Go ahead.
The white supremacist has people that are in positions of popularity that speak for them. And they speak for them loud and clear. Donald Trump is one. Now, us seeing all these different subpoenas being served on Donald Trump for him to go to court and them trying to compel him to testify. Well, if he won't testify, then that means that he's not putting up a defense. And if he doesn't put up a defense, convict him. Let him go to jail. You got all the paperwork right there. Stop doing this impartial crap for him when you're not doing it for the people who pay all the taxes because he doesn't pay any taxes. Okay? There's the other issue. The people who don't pay any taxes get the most breaks from the court system because they install most of the judges and they are funded by most of the Senate and the Congress who empower them.
Like Clarence
That's
Thomas.
white supremacy.
Like Clarence
That's
Thomas.
white supremacy right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Juliet says that is like what Trump did, confuse the people. But we were also able to see those bigots who were so well hidden before. And no one's hiding.
But they're still there.
No one's hiding.
They're not hiding.
They're not hiding now. They're in our faces. They're in people's faces. And they're
in the
blatant
White
and
House.
they're open
are
with
in
it.
the FBI. They're in the CIA.
They're
in
open
the
with it.
Secret Service.
Yeah, they're open with it. They're very open with it. You know. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
'cause
where
this
and that's where
individual,
the
he done killed
racism
so many
and
black
that's
folks, and it took him a long time. This has to come public for them to arrest him finally.
and that's where the
You know,
racism
and he
comes
could-
in. Yeah, that's where the racism comes in. But before we move to
Yeah.
racism, I just want to say one thing real quick in regards to election. And me and my son was reasoning on it, and my eldest son, Mike, and he says, "Mom, you know, because when he was speaking in regards to Stacey Abrams along with what's his name, Kemp, and he says he don't think for a minute that Stacey Abrams is going to win, and the party threw her in there, and they know she wasn't going to win, and he feels that she should have sat out this round. With all of what Kemp did during the time of the Big C, his ratings have gone up because of the Big C, which on that talk I kind of agreed with him because there was things as far as demanding that people get the big V and get the V and all of these things. I was against that. And I was happy at the time that she wasn't in office because she would have forced a lot of citizens to go and get that big V. And she would have kept a lot of businesses locked down when he opened and start and let people make money. So he's looking good in a lot of people's eyes. She should have ran for, I think he said, Secretary of State, and then sit out the 4 years and then come back strong. If she loses, he said he feels that that's the end of her it's going to be her political demise. And the party, whomever's in charge of the party, should have looked at that and thought about that. Not because she won, she almost beat him 4 years ago, but look at his record, what he has done in this time span of the Big C. He's favorable. What y'all thought on that?
Him and that Medicaid funding, that's my problem with him. That's where it jumps off.
Uh-huh. But is there any truth?
He disenfranchised the whole state because he turned down Medicaid funding. There are a lot of people in Georgia who still need medical insurance, and they can't get it.
Yes,
what
but
they have is not even medical
yes,
insurance.
but maybe they should have
put a placebo.
Maybe they should have tried someone else to run against him and let her build up.
You know what he's trying to do now? He's trying to get to the poor people by giving them that $350.
He did. He's not trying to. He's already.
They're falling for that. They're falling for that bait because I heard an individual, a young lady. She said to me, I asked her if she's going to vote, and she said, "Oh, I'm not voting for neither one of them because what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant my stuff in my garden instead. And I said, oh, really? I said, well, we all need to go out and support her because if we don't, then he's going to win. But there's enough folks inside of Georgia, in the state of Georgia, that are black, Hispanic, um, Chinese, that are not white, that are not Republican, red, that can go out. And if we decide to go out and really vote in masses, then she can win, you know. But people are so disenfranchised that they're just saying, "Oh, I'm not going to vote at all." But that's not. I don't think that's a good thing, a good way to go. You know, we understand that the odds are against her, but yet still, I think if everybody go out, encourage each other to go out and vote for her, then she have a chance to win.
And
That's
to
my
put
opinion.
and to put what in place?
Well, she have a lot of things to put in place. She have
But
Medicaid, one of those
okay.
issues.
My
She
question,
have
and maybe I shouldn't even have said that because she does have a lot. But what I'm saying is,
yeah.
it brings us back to parties. What is about besides the Medicaid? What else is it about Kemp that we don't like?
I just feel that, okay, I'm going to go off again. Here I go. Y'all know I meander down and fast.
Go ahead, I love it.
There should be some fitness test for these candidates.
Yeah.
And if they don't do math, they shouldn't be allowed to be state treasurer, quite frankly. And one of the other things I want to say that I want to be personal about. If you do not have certain parts, you should not be trying to make rules about them. Especially if we already know that you are not going to make rules that are going to be favorable to those parts other than the ones that would apply directly to your use or misuse of said parts.
Well, myself, I most definitely feel Queen as well. But me and you was on that definite is that if you don't have the experience, I don't understand how someone in agriculture is the ministry. Let's use the ministry of education. When you're throwing people into positions that makes no sense, I'm definitely not for it as well, like you. Mama Chap, Pauline says Walker needs to be a comedian for football, not us to represent in Congress. We have Pence. We the people came. We have sense. We the people come here to help fight segregation because we fight for freedom in our country. So everywhere we go, we will fight for our children and help people who believe in their freedom. Also, we came out of Mother Africa on slave ships. Some of us was dropped off in America, some in the islands. So we are one people under God. So we will fight and fight for the ones who have lost their lives, who couldn't fight.
I want to add one more thing. It just crossed my mind. There's a visual representation. You've never seen children of Herschel Walker, but we've seen his son Christian. Okay? All of these women who have accused Herschel Walker of different things are all of the same type. I'm going to use that term. I think it's more equitable. We know they're women. We know they are not black women. So forgive me for saying this, but sometimes when you go too many times outside of your neighborhood, you eventually become allergic to your neighborhood in the sense that you might wake up one morning and have a heart attack if you go to sleep overnight in your neighborhood. And by that, what I mean is, I can't imagine how he felt when his only child, who doesn't deny him, was on the internet and told all of his business, not just his business, but his feelings. Who revealed to us that he didn't raise any of his kids. We didn't even know he had 4 kids. Okay, I had no idea he had that many kids. I thought he may have had 1 or 2. 4 kids, and then he didn't raise any of them.
He is just like 5 points away now from Warnock. That should speak to the mentality of the voters.
Because
Republican
again,
voters,
you have the white supremacy people
Republican
behind
voters.
him,
Okay, that's what
behind him.
it's a party thing. It's not about the person. It's not about their character. It's not about their children. It's their family orientation, relationship with families, what they've done. It's not about any of those things that we're grasping at. It's just about party. It's either you're going to vote Republican or you're voting Democrat. It's either you're going to vote JLP or you're going to vote PNP. It's either you're going to vote whatever the party is in Trinidad against this one. It's all about party. It's not about the person, character, family orientation, not even about their past anymore, their votes, how they felt in the past. It's about none of that. No one cares. And that is the downfall of our governments around the world. It's because no one cares anymore. No one cares about morals. No one cares about their views, their actions. It's all about whom the party that they want in office to do what? They don't care. Just that particular party is who is winning. And that's a serious problem. Because he stands for every single thing that the Republican says they don't stand for, but they're willing to vote for him because they want to control the Senate. It's all about control.
It's true. Because even with Olin, it's the same thing with there in Jamaica, where right now they said if an election come up tomorrow, he's gonna win. With all that he did, bulldozing those people's houses and doing
but
all,
there's no one to run against
that
him.
he's doing.
I said that a couple of months ago, didn't I, ladies? There's no one there to run against him. Who is running against him? I see again the UIC is starting to try to come back up and get active back out there. I saw a post the other day in regards to them where the president was talking and starting to try to reintroduce himself and all of these things. But whom is there to run against him? The PM, no one in the PNP party is strong enough to run against Holden. So of course he's gonna win. Juliet says, we need to come together like they did back in the 60s when the people came together to get their rights noticed. There's no coming together. Don't you see that we're killing each other off? We're come together where? To have a complete massacre of ourselves? A big shootout?
Sounds about right.
We don't know nothing about coming together anymore. There's no there's no serious activists out there for anyone to follow. There is no leaders.
We have no leaders. There's no black leader. There's no leader in government. There's no leaders.
Everybody for themselves.
That it's all about party. It's all about party. Juliet says whether to sit with a person of another color or to vote. We have a voice now. We need to use it, and we more than ever need to use our brains. Donna Moody says exactly. So we have to become our own leaders. Exactly. And it's programs such as this that hopefully will cause an awakening in people to be leaders. There's
I don't
no
think many
one,
people want to be leaders anymore.
there's no one that willing to put their life on the line. No one.
They don't see
Martin
the
Luther
reward in it.
King was willing. Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, what's his name? All of them was willing to put their life on the line for the cause.
On the line.
The people, it is nothing but a bunch of cowards. All of us are cowards.
Well, we said so even with the pastors.
Is every man for themselves. That's in you. You know, they said, "The divided we fall," and that's exactly why the fall continues, because we're divided. No one wants to be a leader. No one wants to really come together. It's foolishness. Juliet says we have no honest leaders. That is what we really need. We don't.
And not just not having the leaders, but the leaders don't have the support. Because I really think that young lady is trying to do something.
What young lady? I hope not Candace Owens.
Support.
I hope not Candace Owens you're talking about.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm talking about our future governor, Stacey Abrams.
Okay.
She is trying to do something. From listening to, I listened to, her profile, and I listened to, her history and what have you, and what she has done. And I think she is really, really concerned about people in general, and wants to make a difference, but she's just not getting the support.
Donna Moody says there's no difference. There's no difference between the political parties. It's a joke. They just get the people hyped up just to let us down. And that too. There's no faith anymore in the government, and there's no faith in the leaders, because they wish-wash. They back and forth.
And when the real one comes out, they can't see.
No.
When the real one comes out, folks cannot see, because so many in the past have done bad that no one can see the goodness in others.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up election.
And that's sad.
We're gonna wrap up election. Any last words on elections, Queen?
Yeah, everybody's gonna go out and vote like your life depends on it.
Vote like you never voted before. That's what I'm saying too.
Go vote. I've already did my early voting. Early voting is on.
I did mine too.
I went and I did my early voting.
Did.
Okay.
I voted last week. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I did my early
I
voting
have my
on
ballot
Monday.
on my desk. I just haven't filled it out and dropped it off yet, because I like to wait until maybe a day or two before the election, actually. So what I do is I watch the races and see how things are going. Because if there's too many people to choose from, gotta let it narrow down a little bit. And we got a lot of crap going on up here in Detroit. But one thing I hope everybody remembers
You know what I
If you
can't
don't
Wait a
vote,
minute,
understand?
Queen.
My
Wait a minute,
sister,
Queen.
you
Wait a
can't say
minute, Queen.
nothing.
Let Acid finish his statement. Go ahead, Acid.
you know,
I was just
you
saying,
know what I
if you
can't
don't vote,
understand? Go on, sis. Go on.
you can't complain.
That's it.
Wh-
Real
What
quick,
I
Queen,
can't
and then let's
understand
drop
is
this.
Governor Kemp, he's fighting against legalization of marijuana, but yet still it's alleged that he has how many acres of land growing marijuana in, in Arizona.
It's all a way for black people not to make money.
You know it. You know it. You
Okay.
know
So
it.
we're moving on from election and we're going
Okay.
and we're I just we're gonna go straight into mental health and racism. We're gonna tie both of those together. But there's a video that's been going around, and I don't know if a lot of persons has saw that video where there was a young man. They said that he was wanted for some crime or whatever. He was a wanted person, and he was fighting. He was, becoming very combative to the police officers. This is in Jamaica
Mm.
that came to arrest him, and they were fight. They say they handcuffed him, and they handcuffed him in the front, but the way that he was moving around and stuff like that, um, I guess the officer foot or someone's foot got caught inside of the thing, in between the cuffs. Whereas it led for him, the young man, to kind of sort of reached for the gun. Now there was two police officers there wrestling with this young man, and they shot and killed him in front on live
5
camera,
times. Mm.
live
Mm-hmm.
camera, everything like that. I just had
Mm-hmm.
to, I couldn't even watch it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to know what happened to the tasers. I want to know what happened to the
Mm-hmm.
pepper spray
Yeah.
before it led to that. And this is just a quick drop in before we go straight into racism and mental illness. And I just want to know what happened to the other forms of weapon and why all of a sudden, if it's based off of what the gentleman said in regards to well, not what Mama Acid call him, Wayne Lonesome, call him Google Gaga, but I want to know what if his statement on where people interpreted the statement as the police officer should shoot to kill because they need to go home. If this is why the mass murders has been being taken place, and there's no one, none of the police officers or any of them is trying to use a less lethal form of way of restraining these individuals. Mama Acid, I didn't send it to you because I know you wouldn't want to see it. Um,
It's
but it's listed as being an execution on spot. I think that is it. They're trying to get rid of all the Joneses, and yeah, it's a sad thing because I think that there was a better way to handle that.
but not just that, lady. To tell you really and truly, in space of just the month of October, it's 19 persons that was fatally killed in Jamaica, shot and killed in Jamaica. In space of 2 days, it was three of them that was killed. Um, there that we're wondering, is it because these police officers are scared, or is it pressure they're under pressure, um,
No,
or
they were
is it
given
that
they were
they're
given the
just
green light.
pure wicked?
They were
They're,
given the green light. Pauline Roberts says,
yeah,
we are forgetting that they did that to Jesus Christ. So we are human and we are not 100%. So just take the little that we get and work with it. Okay.
And
I
they're
can't say
using
that.
these
I can't.
firearms.
I don't want to go with that. I'm sorry.
They're using the firearms as saying that's why they're shooting them and killing them because they have these firearms and they can shoot somebody and kill them.
Yeah, but
And
at
they're
that
bad
time you
men.
had this individual handcuffed. He
Hmm.
was wrestling with you. What happened to tasers, to pepper sprays, things such as? Is this just
Yeah.
going to start to be the norm? Total deadly force?
Yeah. Somebody said
I
they should
just
have
needed,
bought a
I just wanted
camera.
to throw
They
that
should
in
have
there.
bought a camera like America do, and so they're accountable for their
But
actions.
is there's nothing about being accountable. It's on camera. It was live camera
Yeah, I saw
that
it.
that was
Hmm.
on. The entire arrest, from taking him out
Yeah,
from where he was, going over to the police car, to the wrestling, to the shooting, to the death. And then when he died, they picked him up off the floor and threw him
and drag him.
in the
Yes.
car,
Hmm.
in the back of the truck, and tried to, and almost slammed his leg in the car, and then fling him over. I was
Yeah,
like,
I saw it.
mercy.
Ooh. Mm. I turned the channel
Yeah,
after
it
that.
was like
Hmm.
mercy. It was crazy. But anyway, Mama Master, you didn't want to comment on that, did you? You want us just move over to mental illness,
They want to be
racism?
white killers. You already know what I'm going to say. They spend a lot of time invested in watching TV so they can learn how to be better white killers.
Hmm.
That's nothing to be proud of. It's unfortunately a reality that we all starting to look at and wonder, how did it get this way? Well, I think there's one thing we can all look at, and that is that this is not a new situation. And because it
Exactly.
has continued, that means someone is fostering it.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have just been happening on its own organically, would it?
Mm.
Because somebody got to ask
Hmm.
who is killing all these people. And why are these people out here doing the same thing as though they're cops in America?
Yeah, they are
Maybe I shouldn't
imitating
say it
America.
that way.
Everything. Mm. They are imitating
That's what it
America.
feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the policing and the clothing and the gadget and everything they're imitating Jamaica, America.
And maybe they're taking
That's
that,
one
Hmm.
maybe
reason
they're
why
taking, maybe
it
they're
needs to be it needs to be put in check. It needs to be put in check now.
put in check by whom? The person whom that
It
should
needs
put
to
it
be
in
put
check.
in check.
The person that
I I,
whom
I like that question. I like that question because I want to answer it.
Go
I've
ahead.
been waiting to answer that question for a long
Go
time.
ahead. Who's gonna put it in check? Go ahead.
The people of Jamaica. What has to happen is these rogue police officers, I'm gonna call them what they are. They need to be the ones who walk down a lane one night.
Over to mental
I'm trying
illness
not
and
to go.
racism. Over to mental illness and racism.
Wow, it's sad. It really is. It really is.
Is all
It
of this
really, really is. But
is all of
do
this
they?
considered to be mental illness? Even with the
Some
police,
of
is
them
it
just
temporary?
wickedness. Some people just wicked.
Is it temporary mental illness? With even the cops, they're afraid, they're nervous,
No, they're
they
saying they're
feel
under
threatened.
pressure.
I was
They're,
watching a video with a young lady, and the officer pulled over. The guy say that he smelled some marijuana in his car, and he pulled him over, and the young lady came and she was videoing, and he just went totally off track, and he was just so authoritative. I mean, like, he just thought because of what he's the police, you better do what I say and let me find something. And he even made threats. He even made threats. No
Look
more
at
breaks. You will not get another break from me. And she's like, "Oh, you're threatening me? Anywhere I see you, you're not getting any. So anywhere you see me, you're gonna pull me over and I'm not gonna get a break. What are you gonna do? Write me a ticket, lock me up?"
Yeah, they target them. Look at the young man in Arizona that was sitting in the car. His mother is fighting. His parents, they're fighting it right now. He was sitting in the car with his friend, drinking a malt and eating a burger. And the officer, like I said, it's not just Jamaica. It's happening everywhere, you know.
Are
And
we?
now he's in the ICU fighting for his life, you know. Because the police officer just started shooting. He did try to run away, but the parents are saying that he was scared because he just came up. He just came upon them with the gun and what have you. So he tried to drive off, and the officer just opened fire on the car, hitting
I
him
mean,
several times.
I
He's
don't.
in the ICU
I
fighting for
don't
his
know if
life.
we need to. If we just need to say to our youths, "Don't run, don't fight, stop fighting, stop running," because the outcome always is the same. They're always killing them.
Mhm.
When they're
Yes.
driving off, they're killing them. They get up and they run. And I know me and Mama Acid spoke about that the other day, where we understand you're scared and the adrenaline is going through you. But when you run and you fight, it makes the situation worse. That's just an assured death right there.
Mhm.
And that's going from the guy in Jamaica fighting the officers to, I mean,
But they're
it's
saying he
sad.
was suffering from mental illness.
Mental
That
illness.
particular guy.
Kanye West, mental illness.
Mm.
Why
Okay.
everything that Kanye West is saying is considered to be a mental illness? Is there any truth to what Kanye West has been saying?
He's admitted that he has mental illness and that he's not on his medication now. He says that he can't take it and be
Yeah, but
creative. And
but
he says
but
when he's
is there
taking it,
any
it prevents him from being creative.
but is there any truth to what he's saying?
Of course. Hmm. Okay, now as a 100% bona fide Black Jew, I can say this. So anybody that get mad, you can see my DNA. I will, in fact, let you talk to my granddaughter, and she will probably make you want to scream because she still does not understand why the DNA chart shows all of Europe and only two or three uh, African points. So I want to say two people first. Understand that everything we go through not as an individual, but as a group. And whether we want to admit to being a part of that group, we are. Okay. And sometimes we need to refocus, readjust, and restart. Okay. I want to say that's what Kanye is doing right now. And I'm really hoping that it is because I have some real revelations in my mind about why Kanye has these feelings, and it becomes very much part of the community self-defense model. He wants his freedom, he wants autonomy, and he wants resilience. What good is having money if you can't use it? You can't be treated like a billionaire. I'm not going to say that I agree with
The
some of the
tactics.
things he said, but I'm going to say that if it were a choice, okay, here's an example. I recently went back on Twitter and someone said to me, tell me about one Black media outlet that you would like to see gone. Okay. I don't watch BET, but I like BET Plus. I don't watch it. I used to watch it when Bob Johnson owned it, then he sold it to Viacom. Okay. They put all kinds of ratchet crap in it. Okay. They got rid of the good shows like Planet Groove and Video Soul and
Yeah.
Lead Story because they don't want people to feel that they have the ability to be strong enough to understand and be resilient against the things that are systemically programmed to more or less disable you. People want to say that Kanye is crazy, but Kanye is feeling freedom. Kanye has enough money to be able to say, excuse me, I want people to see me like a white boy because his feeling is that if people see him in the same way as they see Scooter Braun, then his money will actually make sense to him. It doesn't make sense to him now. Okay? It doesn't make sense to him now. He's going through stress. He's still dealing with his major loss of his most divine ancestor, and he's trying to figure out how he, as a black man, and I hate to stretch this point, but I have to bring it to reality. He is saying, "Look, we gotta fight against falsehoods. We gotta fight against those who are fighting against us." And I had to think about what that really meant. And I listened to Russell Simmons talk about it, and he was right.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Dr. John Heinrich Clark talk about it. He says first you have to deal with the disunity and how it came about and how Europe and America have a vested interest in keeping African people divided all over the world.
All over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dr. James.
What Kanye
Smart
said,
too.
and I'm going to quote some of it, not all of it, was that when he wakes up, he's going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. And he says, funny thing is that I can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jews also. He said, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone, whoever opposes your agenda. Who is he talking about? He's talking about Ari Emanuel. Why is he talking about Ari Emanuel? Because Ari Emanuel is someone who has done everything in his power at this point that, you know, we've been able to see to, let me see if I can say it in a nice way, keep people in a sharecropping position. I think that's about as nice as I could say it. When you, as a black billionaire, have to bow down and disavow your own power so that you could be recognized by a bunch of other people who really don't like you, they just have to tolerate you because you have enough money to be able to be where they are, then you really have to deal with the fact that you need to be a part of the process to restore black people to that greatness. Because if you aren't, you're only going to be more of a detriment. And right now, we're all confused about what Kanye's really talking about. But what he's talking about makes a whole bunch of sense. On the Drink Champs, he said, hey, look at who's making all the money off of abusing us. He says they are not allowing us to just do this. They are making more money off of it than we will ever make or be able to understand. And if we don't do something about it now, we're not going to be around. So then I went back and looked at Professor James Smalls, who is absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
And he said,
Brilliant.
people want to say, he said, Kanye is not your enemy. Kanye is trying to get his freedom. And if Kanye gets his freedom, maybe you'll get yours. But we have to understand that until we all work on getting our freedom together, we're all basically seen as enemies to one another. And where do we get that from? Oh, the very same people who set up the system and who continue to fund and reap the profits from it. Yeah. Remember, that was what Michael Jackson was talking about when he was talking about Tommy Mottola, calling him the devil. And look, Mariah Carey soon thereafter divorced him, and she called him the same thing. These people are not scared of anything that we could possibly do to them because we don't have the money to be able to do anything about it. Now, I want to want to quote something that I found out myself on Twitter because I hadn't spent a bunch of time really following it up, but I had to think about it, and I also want to add one to the list. Facts about the Jewish controlled media and entertainment. CEO of Warner Music Group, Stephen Cooper. CEO of Sony Music, Rob Stringer. CEO of Universal Music, Lucien Grange. CEO of Atlantic Records, Craig Kallman. Founder of 300 Entertainment, Leor Cohen. Founder of Def Jam Records, Rick Rubin. Founder of XXL Magazine, Stanley Harris. Founder of The Source, David Mays and Shire Schechter. Founders of Google, Sergey Brin and Larry Page. CEO of Viacom, Bob Bakish. CEO of Comcast, Brian L. Roberts. CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki. CEO of William Morris Agency, Ariel Zev Ari Emanuel. Founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. And the New York Times, Sulzberger family. Okay? It says there are more Jewish people in top executive positions throughout media, and there are many more worth looking into. So when Ye was talking about Jewish controlled media, this is what he meant. His observation is indeed a fact, and by no means anti-Semitic. The coordinated effort to stop Kanye from speaking on this proves the point. Okay? I mean, this is it.
That's it.
Why does a population of roughly 1 million have such a strong influence on media and entertainment globally? Why do CEOs seem to succeed each other? Okay, this is not this is not a joke. This is actually happening, and it is time to stop this negative rhetoric because look, chattel slavery for Black people is the music business now.
Yeah,
and we all know that. Okay, and we should stop denying it. Kanye West tried to get his freedom by calling people out saying, I am sick of what y'all are doing to me. And look what they did. They escorted him out of the Skechers building.
Yeah.
Yet, the same day, there was... Okay, and the same day, an article came out that talked about in 1950, white women... Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it. White women had no choice. Okay, they could do whatever they want. I'm sorry, Black women had no choice. White women in the 1950s were put to work in a city ordinance in many cities in the South. In 1918, Black women in Greenville, South Carolina, wanted to be stay-at-home moms to their kids. They stopped being nannies and housekeepers to white families who complained to the city council, and the city council created an ordinance that Negro women to be put to work. Okay? You have to be, either you're going to work or you're going to go to jail. So if you and I look at this, okay, we have to look from way long time ago. All right? There's no way that we can ignore any of this history because all of this history has made each and every one of us mentally unfit. And I'm saying that because I want people to understand that Dr. Yosef Ben Yohanan said the worst part of slavery is the shackle on your mind.
Yeah.
So it's time for us to take that shackle off and stop pretending that these things did not happen to us. We're trying to teach our kids respect, honesty, integrity, spirituality, and accountability for a system that is inherently corrupt and directly built and maintained to maintain the unequal status of Black people in this country.
Asid,
systemic racism is not a joke.
Asid, I am clapping for you because you always clap when I talk. And I'm telling you, last week I was like, is Asid really talking with? I said, nah, Asid, I totally disagree with you.
Yeah.
And when you came, when you came this afternoon and you said, D, I think I'm on the other side. It's all a facade that they're trying to block out what he is saying. And you have to look deeper into what maybe the way he's saying it is hurting people and it may not be the right way to say it. But really dig deep and dig deep into what he is saying. They don't have a problem. They don't have a problem it's not a problem when it's all about shooting each other's, shooting black people, doing everything that is wrong to black. But as soon as we step out of that box, they always try to shut the messengers down. Listen to what he said. Stop. Don't just look at the surface. And that is what a lot of us do, is just look at the surface, and we get touchy-feely and we don't like it. But get a little bit more deeper and try to dissect what is being said. Yes, a lot of the way that he said it is not pretty. But let's get deep.
Slavery wasn't pretty. But that interview he did with Pierre Morgan,
dig deep down in what he's saying.
It's self-explanatory.
And stop trying to twist the words and make up what suits us. Really, really dig and research on what he is saying. And he is smart. He's smart.
Yes, he is.
He wanted to get out of these contracts. Mm-hmm. And like Mama Asid say, he's free. He don't have nobody pulling the puppet strings. He's pulling his own strings.
That's what Russell Simmons said. He said Kanye is at the point right now where he can take his money, he can go to Vietnam, give them the designs, and say, make 500,000 of these.
Hell, Adidas can't even stand on their own. They still using the man creation and got the nerve to want to take his name off of his creation.
Remember last week I told you about the company that he and his father built. And like his father said in that interview, he is the sole mastermind behind all of that company. He was more or less just assisting him. And also when he did that interview with Pierre Morgan, he really explained to you what his goals are and his agendas are. And if you really listen to that interview, you will really hear what he's saying and understand where he's coming from.
A lot of things are sliced. They slice out, they slice and put in, and how they want it to sound. Okay? Yeah. And music.
But, Pierre said there's nothing wrong with Kanye. He said he's a smart guy. That's what he said while he was.
He's dealing with a lot. Yeah, he's dealing with a lot, and he has issues. And like he said, when you take the drugs, it oppresses a lot of your thoughts, your emotions. And he want to be able to express himself. Yes, maybe he's not expressing it the way that he ought to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but he needs to. That's how he gets his creativity. Donna says they are Jew/ish, not Jews. And Mama Chaplin says, woman is one of the greatest creators that was ever created. We made generations. We made kings, queens. Kanye should have asked a woman to speak for him. Jesus Christ listened to a woman cry. Why? Why does he have to have someone speak for him? Why he can't speak for himself? Why he can't speak for himself, Mama Chap?
He did, and he was real articulate. I heard him, and
he can speak for himself.
I was blown away with what he was saying.
He can speak for himself, and this is even with the whole concept of the whole music industry and everything. When people say that music doesn't, the words in the music doesn't matter. It does. It does.
Yeah,
That's
there's
why
fear
there is
in and
so
what
much
you see
violence, because
and
that
what
is
you see
all
around
that
you.
is all that is being heard. Shoot, shoot, kill, kill, rape, sex, drugs. That's all that is being heard. We have a caller. Caller, you're live on the air.
Good evening, Lady D and the absolutely infamous mom.
Greetings. You're
Much
breaking
greeting. You got
you're breaking up.
hello? I'm so sorry, excuse me.
That's okay.
I was just moved by the message and the connotation and I was in motion. So um I was just very, very, very inspired by the context in which you guys are presenting the dialogue about the Kanye West circumstance. And I wanted to see, how do you guys feel about what one, I don't want to be overly broad, but the black interpretation and how, and what I've been seeing, like a lot of black people are already separating each other based off of their perception of what Kanye West has done and, ideas behind, oh, well, he didn't lose money, he's still a billionaire, with reference to, his more recent actions, and they saying, oh, he's being turned away from Skechers. But I also saw that Young Thug, who's an Atlanta artist who's in prison for RICO charges, that offered him his 100 acres that he recently purchased here to continue to forward, his movement, his idea, his program.
Kanye.
Caller, one of the things that people have not talked about is where Kanye's biggest portion of his money comes from.
Mm.
Kanye's biggest portion of his money comes from his royalties, from his music. So if he's distributing his music, he's going to get his money.
Mm.
His fashion brand, he should just wash it and let it start over. Or at least that was the opinion of some kids I talked to earlier today, because I went out to go and survey the public and asked a bunch of different people, and the most intelligent people I talked to were some kids that were between 18 and 25, and I stopped at a barber shop and asked some people, and the older people at the barber shop said, Kanye is an idiot. Ignore him. They called him a bunch of other things too. But I, of course, said, okay, thanks for your opinion, and went out the door because I didn't want to get into an argument with them. But I was glad to be able to understand that people have different opinions of what Kanye is doing, other than just the opinion given by the Europeans who feel assaulted by him actually standing up for himself. Because that's actually, if we're going to be honest, that's actually what we're seeing. We're actually seeing a black man stand up as a black man and do what a black man should do for himself. This is his brand. He's the one who did everything to create it. Now, what bothered me, and I have to be honest and say so, was when all of these people start screaming and hollering about them closing the school. So he said, okay, y'all holler and scream, the school is back open. First they wanted to sue him, and now they don't know what to do. They don't know if they're going to let their kids go or not. Then they're bringing up this conversation about Kanye supposedly never reading a book. Okay, that is crap. And I'm going to say it's crap because I did a little research myself, and I was pleasantly surprised to find out that when Kanye was in China, yes, Kanye lived in China because his mother was teaching there at the university, and Kanye was there. Kanye spoke Mandarin Chinese fluently, and he learned in classes. So Kanye has read books. And in fact, Kanye has written a book, which kind of surprised me because the book that Kanye wrote is the book that is about the movie that he wants to make about his mother.
May I, Miss Internet? Mama Acid, just present this question as that: do you think the intellectual courtesy for his message be misinterpreted because he understands, quote unquote, the jargon that most would understand, and many that, are, if, not to, disseminate or create a separation between our people, overstand, be one of those precipice of the divide?
I don't think so. I think one of the one of the real issues is that people have forgotten Kanye has traveled and learned. I was not really a big Kanye West fan, never have been, probably never will be, but I admire his mind in the sense that he declared himself a genius and then he proved it. Because all the stuff that he sets out to do, he does it. Some of it may be a little bit long coming, but if he starts out to do something, he does it. And he said something that kind of surprised me that I had to go back and think about. And that was him talking about why he had to change his music and why he had to let go of his old music style. And that was because that was Kanye, the one who made Gold Digger. And he said he can't make music like that no more because he has daughters and he won't let his daughters be like that. So he says he feels sadness that he did that. But he said he was pushed to do it by the record label, and he did what he could do in order to maintain his career because he was a young artist. And he also said that to a great degree he was pushed to do most of that by the people who early in his career told him that this would work for you. And those people were people like the people that he called out, Jay-Z and the people at Rockefeller. They dropped him, okay? He's no longer on Good Music roster. It's rough when you have that much material out there as
They
an
afraid
artist
to lose.
and you don't know what's going to happen with your royalties.
They're afraid to lose their
Not just
money.
that, but you know what he also said on his interview? He was talking about his wife. I think that was a big disappointment for him, and that helped him to change because he was talking about how she had these people manipulating her, showing her how to dress, and she's showing her body and all of these things. So I think even the spirituality part of him became a factor in his decisions that he has made lately. Like Mama Acid said, he's going through a lot of changes within his mind.
He's
Right?
going through a
You know,
lot of changes, and I want to.
With respect, may I?
Go ahead.
All right. With respect, I absolutely agree with your connotation. However, what I think I'm more so speaking to is the interpretation, because the definition of a genius is a person who is exceptionally intelligent or creative or exceptionally intellectual or creative power or natural ability, where the social construct is that a genius is a measurement of the brain's power. And people will very easily misconstrue the wording as something that could be a catalyst to one's fortitude in life. Like people think because they say genius that people mean you're smarter than someone or you're more capable than someone. But the word exceptional in its definition literally defines a difference. Because if you look up exceptional, it's the difference in a parameter. So it's more like people will think you're telling yourself with these words that you're better than people, but it's more about you explaining to people how you're different. So it's just like with Kanye West, it's creating this degradation between his people of understanding how he got what he had, and people are not giving the credit to, excuse me, why he can say what he has, and not giving the credit to how and the processes that had to be formulated to become what he is. And, it just creates this divide because there's not a commonality of the language being used.
There's a commonality of the language being used. People, the majority of whom is coming out against him is afraid to lose what they have.
Absolutely. They're not
That's my view on it.
He's gonna cause
Jay-Z and
right,
all of
he's
them
gonna
is
cause
they
other people
they
to
have
run.
people pulling the strings for them. People, the puppet, they're puppets.
And,
And he
we
is,
gotta
and
say
he's
how
showing you he has enough confidence that whatever that he created, he's going to continue creating. He's going to continue to excel. And he don't need no one to pull no strings for him. Now, once again, his tactics and the way that he says it may not be the best way that a one could say it, but that's him. And if that's his mental illness of how he presents himself, that's him. But he still is
But then
making a
again, we
point.
talked about how they have been trying to destroy the black race.
But
And
everyone knows
they put
that.
all
It's
sort of
in
things out
everything that
there,
we
all
do.
sort of things they
In
put out there.
everything that is black, it's all about destruction. If black people sing about killing black, it's fine. But if you sing about killing any other race, you sing about killing any other lifestyle, it's an issue. But it's not an issue when black is talking about killing blacks. When when they're starting to put when black people is there shooting each other, it's not an issue. But as soon as the guns are starting to be turned on a lot of these white neighborhoods, these Asian neighborhoods, all of these ethnic groups, it's an issue. Things start to be done. Black lives does not matter.
We need to open up our eyes. We need to open up our eyes and our minds and really see things for what they are, and do. And I talked about support earlier, and folks supporting Abrams, because we don't help each other, and when whatever the society is saying, most of the time, us black folks, we agree with what they're saying, because for some reason they think within their mind that these folks are more superior than they are. And like Mama Asid said, that chain needs to be broken.
Queen, and the chain needs to be broken where we're stop saying let's just support somebody because she's black or because she's Democrat. Let's support on what she's running for, her stance on what she's talking about. what she's planning to come. We voted Barack Obama in for 8 years. What? Because he was black? I mean, let's start reading
I
these
liked their
people's
policies.
let's start reading these people's policy, what they stand for, and vote for them for what they stand for. And not because of the
And that's why I
parties
can
that they're
speak
in.
on her because I've seen her policies. Yes, I've been listening to this for months now.
We got we have about it's
Lady D on
10:22.
that
We're gonna go up to
sentiment with
10:30.
Lady D on that sentiment because with the reality that we're living in by supporting and excuse I'm just trying to be as clear and as blunt as possible. The reality that you're supporting something familiar and not taking the time to recognize the how and understanding one's understanding and notion of you believe these things because of how they were presented to you doesn't necessarily take away one's opportunity to discern the truth because the reality is you can do what you do, I do what I do, and I could love you anyway. But if I don't believe in what you do or you don't believe in what I do, there's a disconnect. But what's happening is people are believing the media. People are more so believing the satire that's created around something controversial without using the facts and the how this person got to this reality. So it's always an argument. There's no understanding of where this person's coming from, so you can deconstruct that reality to gauge a proper response. Because I could tell you what I like, you could tell me what you like. I could tell you why I like it, you could tell me why you like it. You could tell me why it's true, I could tell you why it's true. However, my understanding of how you arrived at said conclusion, if I take the time to realize, this person was privileged or this person had it a lot tougher, gives me reverence to realize, hey, this point in your understanding is where the disconnect begins.
Okay.
Mm.
We have
with
some okay, go ahead, finish up this. Okay, we have some comments. Mama Chaplain says, Pauline Roberts says, remember we have Cain generation amongst us. And then she says, good night, ladies. Beautiful topic, but he needs was to listen to our Bob Marley message. Old pirates came to Rabbi. Juliet says, this is so fascinating. I only want to sit back and listen. The passion in your voices is hypnotizing. Thank you for this topic. It's eye-opening. Donna says, everybody can't be crazy. It's the same narrative and crazy tactics that they use when others think outside of their box. Yeah. We have 5 minutes.
Yes.
We're gonna get up out of, we gotta get up off the air chair. It's 10:26. We're gonna close it out for 10:30. We wanted to close it out for 10, but
I just want to make one more comment about this whole thing about Kanye. This is really important too. The issue is that Kanye is waking people up. Yes.
Yeah.
We also saw them do some similar things to some other artists who were also doing the same thing. And they were trying to take control of the distribution of their products. One of them was Tupac. The other one was Biggie.
Yeah.
There was a conversation with Professor James Small where Professor Smalls actually talked to Tupac 2 days before he got shot at this fight in Vegas. and it was theorized that Suge Knight didn't know anything about it. And I actually can say that I can believe that because Suge wasn't the brightest bulb in the chandelier, but I don't think he would have put himself in that kind of danger knowing that he could have been shot at the same time. So when you start making waves and the ocean starts bringing up new seashells on the beach, you can imagine how many collectors are going to be down here by the seashore trying to find out how much is this shell worth? Well, is it worth as much as this one that I got last week? What about the one I had 5 years ago? Is this one worth more? So when you don't want to worry about the copyright, but you want the distribution rights, they want you to turn out the lights. That's why we have not heard a single word from Jay-Z out of all of this.
They all don't want to lose. They don't want they're afraid to lose. They're afraid to pull their own strings. They're afraid to
I want to know
let
since
me
they
put
left
it
the
that
fashion
way.
show. Beyonce, she left the fashion show right after Jaden Smith left. She left, and apparently she left because she saw Anna Wintour leave, and she didn't want to be around when the so-called big talking heads left because apparently she felt like there was some reason to be seen there, so he can't say that she abandoned him. So she was there. Jay-Z wasn't there. It was a bunch of people there, but a whole bunch of those people got up and left too because they didn't want to be photographed in the presence of a White Lives Matter t-shirt. Not like Lauryn Hill, who, I'm just going to say it, you got a baby from a black royal family and you are proud that your baby is walking around wearing a t-shirt that pretty much explains all the problems in the world, okay? Because Kanye will never be a white man.
No, he would never be a white man, but I'm going to interrupt you. He's never going to be a white man, but the statement was you have white people wearing Black Lives Matter t-shirt. So why can't and why is it mental and why is it a controversy for a black man to wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt? All lives matter.
For advertising.
All
he
lives,
was doing
but
it for
all,
advertising.
But all lives matter.
Because he was doing it for advertising because of two things. One, he's buying Parler, which is a defunct white supremacist chat system because he can't afford to buy Twitter and he wants to be like Elon Musk. Yeah, he's got a God complex, and I think it's a white God complex. And the second part of it is this. When you have as much money as Kanye West and you never know how much you really have, you're constantly trying to figure it out by measuring yourself against other people, which will tell you then where your power level is. Kanye is trying to be measured by people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Kanye doesn't care about black rich like Jay-Z. Because Jay-Z owns his masters and he has a cut of his distribution. Kanye could have had that too, but Rockefeller and him couldn't see eye to eye. And I can understand part of that business-wise, but I can't understand another part of it, which is where they gave Kanye a career because before Rockefeller really invested anything in him as a talent, Kanye wasn't that big. Once Rockefeller let him make some beats and then he started actually putting out some of his own product, that's when people paid attention to him because he had been around for a long time. Kid Cudi told us that. Look, not even Kid Cudi. We heard that all the way from Chance the Rapper before he was wearing hats with threes on.
He's been around for a long time, but you see, nothing happens before the time. So when his time came around to shine, he grasped it, and he went full speed ahead.
And he did something. He ran with it.
He ran with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that showed who was the most creative. Okay, he showed how creative he was and showed whom was using
his products and his creations and his style, even with Adidas. And once again, I don't agree with everything that Kanye says. As a matter of fact, to be quite 100% honest, I don't even listen to Kanye music, and I never even follow him. The only song that I used to listen to is "And a Gold Digger," and it's just the beat really that I like.
And
Get
think
down,
about
girl,
that.
get
And think
down, get
about what that
down.
song is about.
That I just
He
listen to
got
the beat.
some nice Christian one. I used to listen to his
I'm
sermon
being straight
and
honest.
some of
I
his
don't
songs.
listen to Kanye's music. I don't listen to his rhetorics. I really don't listen. But this little thing here had me really, really had my ears cocked. And then I really start dissecting because that's just my habit. I really start dissecting everything, the words and the reactions and all of that. And that's what made me come to my conclusions with things, and we're going to close out. We thank each and every one. Donna says okay, we said that comment. We just thank each and every one for listening, and we didn't take any station breaks. We went through. We want to thank Victorious 89.1 FM radio for vibesing with us and having us on live on the air at 89.1 in Macon and Covington and Conyers, Edenton, and yeah, all the areas that they cover. We thank you for continuing to be a brother sisterly station with the Powerhouse Radio. We want to thank all the listeners, and all the feedback. We love when you all correspond with us, call in and or text in and just reason with us, because this is reasoning. And yeah, we're reasoning, but we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your views as well. If you have a topic that you would like for us to touch on, hit us up, dapowerhouseradio@gmail.com. We ask you all to go to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Like, share. We ask you all to tell a friend and a family member that we're over here reasoning on real stuff. And it ain't no shit. We don't have time to sugarcoat nothing. We real all the way. Okay. So we ask you all to share. And also when you're on the live, press that like button, so we could get the likes. If we have 4, if we have 5, if we have 3, we need your likes. But encourage your friends and families and everyone to go on and go to our YouTube channel and like, subscribe, get notified every time that we are on the air or any of our programming right here for the Powerhouse Radio, Victorious Radio. All right. And we just thank you. We thank you. We thank you. The callers, the texters, we thank each and every one of you for vibesing with us. Before we leave out, Queen, you want to leave out and say anything?
I just want to say, love each other, listen to each other, because, we all have a voice. And sometimes when you don't listen, you miss a lot. So just love each other and embrace each other. That's it.
Mama Asid?
And vote. Vote.
Yes. Mama Asid?
Well, I would like to also say, yes, Queen, I agree with that. But there are just some things I can't forget. Today I watched a video of a man who buried his child alive.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's not in
6-year-old. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
Then
in
I
jail.
watched
He just
another
can't
video.
he can't meet his bail. And they gave him bail. That's the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
How could you all
then I
grant
watched
him?
another video.
Go ahead.
This woman, she's an adult now, and she said when she was a teenager, she used to help her father kill people and bury them. And she said it's between 50 and 70 people buried on their farm. And her father was a white supremacist. So she said it's a lot of dead, missing people that people can't find. And she said there's a lot of hateful people on the planet. that are killing people just for fun. So I want to remind people, you never know who you're standing next to. So maybe you should be a little less friendly, a little more discerning, and most certainly, hmm, shop in the daytime because there's just too much going on at night now. Everybody, please take care of yourself, stay healthy, come back and see us. We'll be back here in December, and we just, well, actually in November. Sorry, y'all. I'm jumping months now. That lets you know we got a lot going on the agenda.
Yeah.
You almost straight from Halloween to Thanksgiving. I'm telling you,
I'm
I
telling you.
left out a lot of stuff.
I'm telling you.
So please remember, if you have relatives that are in Jamaica, check on your relatives, okay? If you have relatives in the United States, check on your relatives. Wherever they are, check on your family. Look, check on your folks. And remind them, please, to vote. Vote for people who look like you, who have your agenda. But make sure that they have your agenda before you vote for them. Because quite honestly, I would rather have Raphael Warnock with his pie in the sky than to have Herschel. I don't know none of my kids, Walker, and I can't speak English neither.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Because quite frankly, that is that and Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay?
Ooh,
The person who is running
jeez.
against Marjorie Taylor Greene is a very intelligent and very capable black man. And I do hope
Yeah.
that Mr. Wilson wins. I wish, look, Mandela, we know we haven't given you much airtime, but we want you to know we're watching your race. We love you, and we want you to know we support you. That's across the board because I know the sisters support you too. We just want you to be careful because we have heard about all these threats going around, and we want all of our black candidates to be careful. We want our black voters to be careful when they're going to deposit their ballots, if they vote by mail or if they go and drop it off at a drop box. Even when you're going into the polls, be careful because you don't know these people, and they may look like your neighbor, but who knows how much about your neighbor, okay? Especially if you find out that they could have been burying people in their backyard for
My
decades,
Jesus.
and nobody knows anything about it.
No one knows anything.
So please, people, we look forward to seeing you again next month, and we need you to be safe until then. But don't forget to vote. Vote because your life depends on it.
It does. It does. Amen. I just want to thank each and everyone once again for joining us and for the comments. And Mama Chap says, I'm praying for you guys for safe traveling mercies. Come back safely and may the good Lord forever bless and cover you guys. Amen. Mama Chap, bless. Blessings to you, Mama Chap. And I just want to encourage each and every one, watch your children. For this week alone, there has been like around 12 children that went missing. Know where your children are. Know where these little children, right now, there's a 12-year-old girl that's missing that just popped up today again. Know where your children are. I don't know what's going on in this world, but we just have to pray. We have to pray. This world needs prayer. There's another teenage girl that was dumped, that was saved by the garbage men. They were dumped into the garbage, and the garbage truck came to dump this garbage, and they found her in there. This world is crazy. Just be careful. Know your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings. Okay? And love. I think love most definitely will conquer all. Everything. Love will conquer. And, Sunday's coming up. Know who's praying over you. Don't just have any and everyone praying over you. Because sometimes they're not praying for the best for you. Lovina, vote. Go out there and vote.
If you're unsure, go to these websites and read what the agendas are for each of these candidates. Vote, vote, vote. Voting is your voice. That's your voice. So let's use it. Okay? Let's use it. Love or no? And just be blessed. Just be blessed. Leaving out with Ijanoa. It's called Wake Up.
Yeah, hear what I man say.
Thank you, Sister Julie. Mama Chap, Donna. Thank you, callers.
People now, hear I say. Freedom, 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 freedom. Rasta people, them freedom. African people, freedom. The original people, they can't find your body, but they can control your mind. So free up your mind, oh people now who have been trapped by the demons of the beast. They are trying to destroy your mind and spirit, your heart and soul, your divine control. Before they violate your body and destroy your world, they are waging all kind of warfare to destroy. If they control your thoughts, they can control your actions. Prompting you to take their base that will lead you to self-destruction. It's a self-defeating, self-destructive actions, doing exactly what they want. As you fall in their trap, say of the manipulation, the unleash the demon and the beast, to raid, ravage and feast. So wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free your mind. Wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free